Hey, everybody. My name is Evan Mosier. I'm a technology innovator, which is like a technology coach here in the Davenport Community School District in Davenport, Iowa. Um, just a little bit of a geographical note on that. It's kind of where the Mississippi River runs east and west, and that like east nose of Iowa, if you will. So whenever anyone says Mississippi to me, my first thought is east and west because that's where it's at here. So just to give you an idea where I'm at. So today we're going to do a little bit of an kind of an addendum to a presentation that's done over a much broader time, much more length of time. It's called Google Ahas, and really we focus in on every single tool. And we just go through different things that might be an aha moment. Because when we're teaching, we love the aha moment. That's the basic reason we teach. We love when kids get involved with that. And so I've kind of plucked Google Slides out of that because there's one Casey Bell who describes Google Slides as the Swiss Army knife of Google tools. And I couldn't agree more. So we're going to walk through some things today. There are screencasts on each slide that are available. But I'm going to kind of model the tools off script. So the screencasts are here if you would like to refer to them after the presentation. But for now, we'll take a look at Google Slides as an entire tool. So one of the cool things about slides is the ability to edit every single slide at one time. So if I just put some kind of a theme in here, add this here, and then let's do a different title here. So we've got this little title slide. It's a little salmon pink color, and maybe we know we're going to have all of these different slides going on throughout the presentation, and we want to edit them, but we don't want to sit and edit every single solitary one of them as we go. We just want to do it once at a blanket. So another cool thing before we get to that is the ability to add a template slide. So up here, next to the new slide with layout, you click that little drop-down arrow and it brings you already pre-made layouts. So I'll just click this one here and for demonstration purposes. So when you come up here to the top, you're gonna go to View, Master, which is the third one down, and then you'll come over, all of the layouts that are within this particular theme are listed here on this left-hand side. And so the very first thing you'll do is click which slide you would like to edit, and now you're able to click inside the slide to edit the master. Excuse me. Now, if you notice, that coral color is what we're wanting to change. So we're going to take this paint can and maybe let's change it to a blue, and we're going to make that blue all the way around. If you notice on the left-hand side, that slide I just inserted over here on the left has already gone blue, and slide 9 for reference. So looking at slide 10, you see we've got the file or the font there up top and this little banner down below. Let's go back to the slide master. And so maybe that's the one I want to edit now with everything. And so let's click that. And maybe I'll change the color of this font to that blue to match. And then maybe I want my font style to be like a Helvetica New. And maybe I want this bottom bar to match that blue as well. So these are all things I can do easily within the slides master that I don't have to do each individual time I insert a new slide. So definitely something to play with and definitely something to look at as you go forward. A cool thing, one of my favorite things about slides is just how flexible it is when people are working on this. So in order to utilize all of the tools that are within Google Slides, we can actually change the workspace size of our slides to match. So we can make it an 8.5 by 11 printer page. We can do an 11 by 17 poster, or we can even change it to pixels. So I'll show you under File, Page Setup near the bottom. Widescreen 16:9 is the default, but if you click that, you can go to Custom, and then you have the option to change it to inches, centimeters, points, pixels. So inches are kind of the easiest one, where we do 8.5 by 11, 11 by 17, all those other fun things. Or if we wanted to change this to pixels, we could change it to 1600 by 400, and it changes it to a long rectangle, and that's now the same size as a Google Classroom banner. So you can have your students design a Google Classroom banner, excuse me, directly in Google Slides just by changing the workspace size. So we're going to change it back to inches, and we'll go 8.5 by 11. And here, once you start editing all of the different pieces of this slide, you can then download these as a PDF, which then essentially creates an ebook that your students create right in Google Slides. So a very, very powerful small tool to have in your AHA tool belt as you begin working in Google Slides. Another excellent one is the Paint Format tool. And for this, I'm just actually going to go back to the regular side slides, regular size slide. There we go. And so then we're going to come through, and maybe we want to change where it says Slides Master here. We want to make that that yellow custom color to match Google Slides, and maybe we want to underline it. It's already bold. Maybe we'll italicize it. Let's change the font style to something different, something that's easily noticeable. So now we've got all those things. And just as the Slides Master, we can all edit in the Slides Master every time we go, but now we can also take a look at changing this font all throughout. So if I click up here under the Paint Format tool, which looks like a little paint roller, I click it one time, and I highlight it, and then I'm going to click that Paint Format tool. What that does is it locks in all of those different formats. So I've got the bold, the italicized, the underline, the Baloo font, that yellow custom color with Google Slides. So now I'm going to come here, and I'm going to change that word that I just highlighted, and it comes and reflects that. But wait, there's more. It's kind of like a QVC salesman or a car salesman. So if I come up here, and I'm going to, once again, I'm going to highlight this text, grab my Paint Format tool, but instead of clicking one time, I'm going to click twice, and I'm going to come through, and anything I highlight is automatically going to be applied. So I can come through my entire presentation, highlight everything I would like, and it's going to reflect the change just using that Paint Format tool. So click it once to just change the next format, and click it twice to change everything that you highlight beyond that. Another benefit to Google Slides is the option of inserting images. So if I come up here and I want to insert an image, maybe I'll search the web. I'm going to just insert a picture of George Washington. And so we'll do that. And so now I have this here. And I'll insert that into my slide. What's cool about this is I can do so many neat things with this. If I come up here and I click Format Options, if you notice on the right-hand side, I have all of these different different things that I'm able to do with the picture. So I can recolor this if I would like to change it. Maybe I want to make it look like it's on a dollar bill. Or maybe I just want to change it to a different color, different shade of that. I can add a drop shadow if I wanted to. I can even change the distance away from the picture the drop shadow is, the angle the drop shadow is. A lot of cool things I can do with a drop shadow. Another cool thing is the reflection, which is awesome. So think of it as standing in front of that clear water, crystal clear, calm as ever, and you hold that picture on there, and right below it, that picture is reflected. So you can change the transparency, distance, size, all that fun stuff along those lines right there. So my favorite part of image adjustment is the ability to do what they call a mask image. So if I wanted to mask this image, up here next to the crop tool, I'm going to click this drop down arrow, and to mask it, I just simply click that drop down, and then I select which shape I would like it to be. So for example, if I took it to an oval, it cuts it around and basically makes it how it looks like on a dollar bill. Pretty cool. I can do many other shapes with this. I can even change it to maybe we'll put George in a heart, something like that. I can also double click the image, which allows me to crop the heart, maybe widen it a little bit, and I can actually move the image around inside the heart. All those interesting, cool things you can do with just simple image adjustment in Google Slides. So very beneficial tool with that as well. The next one, we know Google owns YouTube, so another cool thing along the same lines of doing some editing is the ability to insert a video into things. And then maybe we'll, let's just search, we'll keep the same theme here and we'll insert a video on George Washington. And what's great about this is I can do the same thing with all of my image adjustments off to the right-hand side, as you see. But what I love about this is I can actually start the video where I want and end the video where I want. So if I'm presenting this to students, I want this to start maybe right as I get to the slide. I'm going to click to play it automatically. And maybe I want this video to start at 15 seconds, and maybe I want it to end at 30 seconds. And so I will notate that here on those format options with this. And then once that plays, it'll only play that 15-second clip, which is a really, really powerful tool when you're presenting and you don't want students to see the whole video, or maybe you only want to see just share just a part of the video, and so you don't have to forget to pause the video or turn the video off or something like that. So the final thing to discover today is the Explore tool. There are many, many, many other ahas within Google Slides, but all we have time for today is that Explore tool. So the very last thing is this little diamond inside this little speech bubble down here. That's the Explore tool. Makes my language arts heart very happy, because if I insert a picture of George Washington, and it'll search it here. So I'll search George Washington. If I go to images and if I click the plus, what's great about this, when I go to insert this, is you will see that it's linked on the bottom. When I click the picture, I've got several of them in here that I just went click happy on. But if I click the image, you can see it's actually cited. So again, a great lesson to teach digital citizenship, and a great lesson to teach Creative Commons and citing sources, and that even just by simply inserting a picture from Google Slides, the Google Images. And again, that's the Explore tool that will actually search the web, your images on the web, and even your Google Drive. For those types of things. So again, just a few cool things on Google Slides, many, many, many others that we could spend some time talking about, but that's all we have time for today. So thanks a lot for coming along and learning about Google Slides, and we'll catch you on the next one.